I believe that everybody that has turned out to be extremely successful found out something at a point and doubled down. Social media never captures momentum, it captures moments. You could be on your way to the worst place in the world, but along the line, the sun was setting. Take a picture of the sun, boom, you post it on your social media. The rest of your journey is filled with dark clouds, horrible road, and everything. People are like, oh my God, that person is enjoying. But I think the key factor for me in everything is always find yourself in the middle of all the noise. And like, boom, this is me. I am here and I don't care about anything else. Eventually, you figure out if you're the 2-step guy or the 10-step guy or the 1-step guy. Eventually. Hi guys, my name is Aziz Amida. Again, I'm here, not motivated. If you're if you lived in the 80s, you realize your biggest pressure was passing jam, and you want to get into school early and all those things. You then came an age where being young became elegant. It was now, okay, I want to make it before I'm 20, I want to make it before I'm 30, and on and on. So I think for people like me, I've struggled to always understand why the hustle is so crazy. But I want to dive deep into it now. And this has created a lot of pressure for young folks across the country and maybe all over the world. That everybody is now like, okay, this hustle, this race, okay, want to get it there. We're all running to become content creators. We're all running to, social media influencers and all sort of things, which is not bad. But guess what? The point is, does he set the right tone for the future? Is that where we need to be? And what sort of pressure is he putting on young kids? All of and is it really needed? And if so, how should it be, approached? Basically. So for me, as someone who's basically, at least I think I'm way older than 20 now, and I think I could talk about how I've navigated that journey. But to do that with me, I have two of my amazing friends here. There's Mo and there's Isabel. And yeah, welcome guys.
Thank you.
So today, where I really want to hear from you, really, in terms of how do you think this has been like for you as a whole, like looking at, you wake up every day as a young person, now you're like, oh, more, there's one person closing one deal somewhere. There's always one news or the other all over the place. There's one 50 million view content. There's always, so you see people saying they sold their brand on TikTok for some amazing amount. How does it feel for you as a person?
Well, for me, as much as you say, don't let social media put you under pressure, don't look at other people's accomplishments and stuff. I think, just having it around you or like in the air, like a lot of what people are accomplishing at such a young age can have like two effects. It can either motivate you to, go out there and, really go for it, or it can put you under like an extreme amount of pressure. I think sometimes when we look at what other people accomplish, we forget that everyone has a different starting point. And success is not linear. It's very relative to your situation and like, what you aspire to be, because some people's aspirations take longer to achieve than others. But all in all, for me personally, I have actually felt more under pressure than it can be motivating, but at the same time, I always just feel like I have to have everything figured out. I feel like if I don't wake up every day with a solid plan of like what I'm doing, where I'm going, like I'm wasting away time. I feel like social media has helped us or like kind of push us to feel like every single second of your life counts. Like you wake up, people are like, YOLO, you only live once, make every day count, do this, do that. So it really does feel like if you're not doing something or if you're not thinking about something, if you're not working on something, you're wasting time. So I felt more under pressure than anything.
And Mo, you feel the same?
Well, growing up, social media came into everything, and I think it's the best and the worst thing to happen to young people. With social media, I realized that you just have to be grounded. There are a lot of things you're going to see online. And there are a lot of things that is not how it looks online. So you have to be grounded, you have to be disciplined. And obviously, as a young person, somewhere like Nigeria, you know, a lot of social media content creators came along, you know, the influencers on Instagram. So there was that pressure to let's make money, let's do this, let's do that, you know. But for people that are grounded and they wish to, you know, because at the end of the day, you don't know where those people online started from. You know, it might just one day you wake up and you're seeing something of okay, maybe you have a page that's on 1 million, but you don't know when that person started. So if you're trying to live that kind of life or what that person is doing, you know, it might not end up well. So I feel like this is something that a lot of young people have to, you know, take a step at a time, especially in this digital world and you know where everyone posts what they're doing online. You know.
Well, I think you see, one thing I see a lot is I feel so when I see social media in my head, I feel it records moments. So you could be on your way to the worst place in the world, but along the line, the sun was setting. You took a picture of the sun, boom, you post it on your social media. The rest of your journey is filled with dark clouds, horrible road, and everything. People are like, oh my God, that person is enjoying. But so that's something really, but it's never really said that way. It's never, so it's like a long rope, but you pick points along it and put it out there.
Yeah.
It could be, so it's understandable that it's putting a lot of people under pressure. And so for me, in my own age, it was almost about you finish school, secondary school, you want to go into university. Jam was our what do you call that guy in Marvel this thing? That guy that had the 5 stones.
Thanos.
Thanos. Jam was Thanos back then. Like you go to Jam office, you're like, oh my God. Because you have to pass Jam to get into school. And I remember you go and buy one brochure like this from Jam and you be feeling the school you want to go. Everybody in my neighborhood, Unilag. Everybody, like the whole world. But guess how many people went to Unilag? Maybe one person. The rest, all the other universities we eventually went to. Second choice. Now, but it was a lot of pressure that time too. It was like, oh, I need to, because when you see people in school, you just feel like, oh, they're growing up faster than you, they're doing things better than you. But I think eventually it doesn't really turn out to be that. A lot of times it might actually be, it's just a journey. People walk it in different ways. You see different people do different things at every time. You know, I use this analogy. So I was speaking somewhere and I got out 3 young kids, and I said, this is the goal. The cup is here. I put one person close to the cup, the second person about 10 feet away, the third person about 20 feet away. And I said, I want you all to get to the cup. And I said, who's going to get there faster? So the guy close to it. I said, okay, so let's create something. Let's say the guy close to it can only move 1 step at a time. This 20-feet guy can move 10 steps at a time. This one can move 2 steps at a time. Who gets there first? Then the room went silent. But the instance of those 3 people, imagine I take a picture and put it on Instagram. Who's the most successful?
The first.
Exactly. Social media never capture momentum. It captures moments.
Okay.
You understand? So yeah, I get the fact that the pressure is there, but we're still going to go into I just want to put this out there because a lot of times I see so much this. Startups are now like 2 million. People 5 years later are still doing startup, and I'm like, startup is supposed to be when I am starting. What does startup that is 10 years old mean? Maybe now call it a startup. There's now startup as a something, but so that drive it imposes a lot of pressure on people that are around those sort of around that age, but it's understandable. But I think the key factor for me in everything is always being able to, like you said, grounded in everything. You need to be able to find yourself in the middle of all the noise and like, boom, this is me. I am here. and I don't care about anything else. Eventually, you figure out if you're the 2-step guy or the 10-step guy or the 1-step guy. Eventually, you understand? And to close this line of thought, I've been CEO in 4 companies. I could tell you an average person that works for me in those companies was working before I finished school. Average, not average one. Boom. Working before I finished school. And I'm like, this is a 50-year-old, 60-year-old. And I'm like, okay. At that point when I was in school, what do you think was going through my mind about these guys? And this is it's not like a slight on anybody. It's just journeys are different. You walk yours, you're good. You don't walk yours. But I want to hear from you. How has it been? Tell me.
Well, okay. For me personally, I feel like I'm at that age. Okay, so I'm 22,
Okay.
and I just finished my master's. So I'm an aspiring actress, and I'm trying to get into content creation. So for my bachelor's, I did performing arts, and for my master's, I did screen acting. And I just finished in December. My graduation was on December the 3rd. So it's literally just been a month. But I'm literally at that stage where it's like, we've been in school all the time. But just like you said, when it was your time, it was jam. Like everyone did. In my time, it was IGCSE. Everybody was like, oh my God, you get to school, you do IGCSE. Then it was A-levels. And everybody wanted to go to university in this Oxford, or they wanted to go to Cambridge or Leicester, like wherever, And then it's like when you're in university, you're learning things. Like if you followed your passion, because I know many people sometimes do things for like their parents or whatnot. But I was lucky enough to be able to follow my passion. So when I was in school, me and my friends would be like, when we graduate, we'll join this agency, we'll have auditions back to back. Like school gives you the opportunity to dream because you feel like you're working every day towards that dream. But then immediately after school, once you cross that stage and collect that piece of paper that you worked 4-5 years for, then it's like, what now?
Okay.
So it's like, okay, now I have all this information, I have all this experience, I have all this knowledge to be able to put it to use. But nobody actually tells you where to start from. So all those auditions that we would go for, all those agencies that we get signed to, how do we get these connections? Where do we begin from? So for me right now, I think I'm at that stage of like self-development and planning. So I know how to get myself into those rooms and things like that. But like I said, every day feels like, okay, the time is ticking. Why haven't you gotten that interview yet? Why haven't you gone into that room yet? So it's like, I think I need to work on maybe pacing myself or talking to myself to understand that time is not moving as fast as everybody makes it to seem. I know years go by. Whenever we look back, we're like, wow, I was just 15 yesterday. I was just 18 yesterday. But at the same time, for focusing so much on how fast time is going, we're not really enjoying the season that we're in. Because 18, like when I was writing IGCSE, for some reason I just felt like school would never end. And now I'm done with school. And it's like, wow, I actually felt that way not too long ago. But I'm not enjoying the season now. Before you know it, I'll now be 30 and you'll be like, wow, when I was 22. But this is the 22 now. And I need to learn to live in this before I get out of it. So that's where I'm at.
But so don't you feel okay, you go through this whole period, and do you feel this pressure of, okay, now I'm out? How much of that pressure is on you to say, oh, I need to be an actress like now? I need to be like everything I want to be like now.
When I tell you so much, like I'll use the app TikTok, because TikTok is like the best and worst thing that I think happened to our generation. Because on TikTok, you learn more than like you would like. It's like supposed to be a dancing app, but I actually learn a lot like when I'm on there. But your For You page kind of gravitates around your interests. So I'm always like looking up monologues and like actresses and stuff like that to be able to see like what type of movies and stuff I should be watching for the genres I want to go into and things like that. So the more you look up people, it kind of tells you about their history. So you see some actresses and they'll be like, oh, I've been acting since I was 16. My first movie role was when I was 15, and I'm 22 and I haven't been able to book anyone or anything like. So it's like when you now look at people, how you know, people were able to break into the industry, you start comparing it to what like you've been able to accomplish. And it's like, oh, when I was 16, I didn't accomplish that. When I was 18, as of 22, I still haven't accomplished that. So that is what makes you feel like your time is ticking, because you see all these people that have done all these things, and it's like all of it now starts to form a pattern. Like, wow, what cuts across is that all of them started really young, but I'm already this age where they had probably already won their first Golden Globe or their first Emmy, and I haven't even done a single project yet. So how am I now going to be able to meet up? And it's also like in the industry, in my industry, you know, you're always more marketable when you look younger, and it's like, I probably won't be able to play that role because I don't look 16 anymore. I don't look 18 anymore. Am I still going to be able to break in the way I need to, you know? So that is what personally puts me under lots of pressure.
Okay. Before I say anything, you feel the same?
A bit, but different story.
You seem like somebody that has very much under control. Oh yeah, let's go.
Well, I grew up very fast, you know, from a young age, because I was playing football. So I was moving around a lot, and you know, football is just training, training, training. So I wasn't really into social media and all that. And you know, handling pressure on the pitch helps you handling pressure with everything you do. So it's like, but I started feeling pressure after I stopped playing football. So when I got to 19, went back to school, you know, and then I got into a business where like I had to, you know, be into social media, you know, posting, doing all of that. So like, you know, I saw a lot of influencers, I met a lot of people, and you meet someone that's 22, is driving a car, you meet someone that's 21, has an apartment and everything. I don't know. I started getting drawn into that life. So with my friends and personally, we're like, we have to do something about this. If this person has done it, why can't I do it? You know. So when I got into that life, it was just, we even forgot about the business aspect. It was just now, okay, you know, when you make money, you need to put it back into business. So there was not that discipline anymore. It was okay, let's buy the finest shirts, or let's go to the biggest club, or let's go out and, you know, spend the most money, that kind of thing. So it was always like a competition. But you know, you get lost in that life, especially as a young person, because you can't sustain it, because you need to have something that, you know, can sustain that kind of life you're living. So earlier during my days, there was no pressure, but from 20 down to, I'm 24 now, so from 20 down to 23, you know, there was so much pressure on trying to do this. So you just get lost into doing so many things that you should do and you shouldn't do, you know. I mean, we all know how Nigeria is. We all know the philosophy behind making money and all that. So, and if you're not hanging around with the right people, you know,
it looks like,
yeah.
So
So
I'm not. So you know, you mentioned something. You said, let me tell you what me I realized. Early. I think the biggest problem, especially in Africa, is that we don't document things very well. So people started asking me early in my life and say, how many years have you been working? This is first year out of school, and they told me to write a CV. And I'm like, okay, I have a CV. And the guy said, you have no experience. No, my brother gave me a template. And it was like, oh, you don't have any experience. And so, and I'm like, okay, you don't have any experience. Okay, so I put it there. 0 experience. I'm a copper. I just got out of school. But I've been working since 1999 for a company in the US doing all sort of work. You know, as an editor, as a writer, as an artist, all those sort of things. So one day I saw the guy that used to work for me on his own LinkedIn page. He put in there, writer, Affinity Stone Press. And I'm like, this guy works for me now. He has experience. But I'm being told I don't have experience. So a lot of times when people tell you, well, I've been acting since I was 5 years old. I've been acting since I was 3. Viola Davis started acting very young. You know where she acted? a play in front of our house. Guess what? It's acting.
Yeah.
So we here, we've been taught to tell our tale from the time we have achieved X, Y, Z.
Yes, that's another very important thing. I feel like in maybe not even in our culture, maybe just in society, I feel like we tend to downplay a lot of the things we
Oh, yes.
accomplish because we would just continually want more. Like continually wanting more is a good thing because it gives you a reason to live. It gives you a reason to wake up, to want to like keep pushing yourself. However, if we forget where we're coming from and all the things that we're able to get through to get us to the point that we are, then what are we doing it for? Because that thing that you're trying to accomplish tomorrow, after you've accomplished it, you move on to the next thing. But you don't, that's what I'm saying, you don't remember how hard you
True.
worked to get that first.
You're sitting down like, oh yeah, I've arrived.
When I passed my IGCSE, oh my God. Like 15-year-old, I was so happy. You couldn't tell me anything. But then, as soon as it was now time for A-levels, almost as if IGCSE didn't matter anymore. And it was the biggest thing to me at some point, And it's like now it's like, okay, like you said, work experience. Whenever you want to go and work for somebody, what experience do you have? What can you add to the company and everything? But it's like you forget all those things that like you did before. Like now those things don't matter anymore. But we need to remind ourselves that we've actually accomplished things. So it gives us a reason to keep going. So we motivate ourselves. We don't feel useless.
Yeah, I agree. Because see, like you said, you were playing football. So an average person that wants to talk to you now, let's say 19, you wanted to get a job, or you don't have any experience. But how about the experience of resilience? How about the experience of competition that keeps me on the pitch and making me compete? How about the experience of being a team player? The point is we've literally created this whole metric around being a human being. That okay, as a human being, if your legs are not straight, despite the fact that they are walking, they are not considered to have a leg. Those sort of not like that. That's just an example. But the point I'm making is that a lot of times we tend to, cloud our own achievement with this. And again, I think the second problem that I see a lot is that we've now learned to classify success. We've said now the going rate is that success equals to money.
Yes.
But not really. I can tell you, if it's really equal to money, rich people will be very happy.
True.
There are not many rich people that are happy. There are not many rich people without struggles. There are not many rich people that don't wake up every day still looking for more money. So, at the same time, and that classification of success being equals to money has now made another thing to be equal to success, because money is almost equal to greed, which means greed is now equal to success, technically. So, when you meet an average person that you call successful in the context of money, 99% of the time, what comes with it is a lot of greed, a lot of, I could throw you anywhere I want just to make that money, a lot of all those things. But guess what? For me, I think we need to go back to the elementary. And like, if I give 10 people, you understand? Like, let's say 2 people, the 2 of you, I give you $5 or 5 naira, I give you 20 naira. You understand? Or let's say I give you 200,000 naira. Now, who is richer?
Me.
You, right? But tomorrow, you need to buy a shirt of 250,000 naira. He needs to buy a shirt of 3 naira. Who is richer? If your need is greater than your disposable income, technically, you can't call another man a poor man. Technically. And if you're not demanding for what you cannot afford, no human being can call you a poor guy. Let me tell you, when I was tiny, I was earning 15,000 naira back then. My friends were earning 150, 200, 15K was my salary. I will go like this. Go to, what's that place? So, Aswani Market every Tuesday. I just follow, there's something Bay is the name of. There's a place they used to buy that clothes that time. They just go. My brother will select all those clothes like this. By the time you spend 100 naira, 1,000 naira, you're already a big boy. carry the shirt, wear it on our back, boom, boom. You understand? That thing still forms the basis why I never wear any brand on my chest. Because I'm like, nobody knew what I was wearing. But in that 15K, once I don't buy those Aswani clothes, enjoy myself, I'll now go. Dash to work normally, buy my normal suit, wear it normally. I don't ask for anything I don't need. I never called a man to say, please, I need your help. Not because I was arrogant, but because I don't need much. So guess what? No human being. When I didn't have kobo in my pocket, all my friends thought I was one. Don't worry, he's just conserving himself. Because guess what? There's even a wise man, even a foolish man can be perceived as wise. If he does what? Keeps his mouth shut. A person you've not asked for money cannot call you.
But speaking about perception,
Tell me.
what age or what time frame when you were in your 20s did you realize that a lot of people are actually bluffing? Because you said you grew up
Hello, actually what?
are bluffing about,
Okay.
or literally is about how you're perceiving someone that sometimes puts you under a lot of pressure. So when did you realize that this game is literally about fake it till make it, or who can perceive?
I never thought they were bluffing though.
Yeah.
I thought there were people who were, I thought my friends were really doing the best they could. Honestly, genuinely, I thought, sometimes you sit down and you're like, oh, I don't like that guy because you are jealous of the guy. But I never thought anybody was bluffing. I just thought, because I was one of those guys. So I finished school. I finished secondary school May 2, 1999. I think I still remember that date. May 2, 1999. Now, from that point up until 2004, JAMB showed me madness. I felt JAMB like I was failing, as if I was fetching water. I went, go like this, JAMB office. Not that I already the PTS don't catch me. Even if I see pass, I drive by JAMB office, I still like, if there is that, because you are going there, you're just like, more.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I still remember the numbers I got in every JAMB I did till today. But the point is, you go there, so JAMB has showed me all those papers, but my friends were going into school, all those sort of things. But guess what? I'm not going to do anything about it. At that time, I will pick up my pen, I'll be drawing in my house. We had this Pentium Celeron computer that my brother bought for us. We'll be typing scripts and we'll be sending to Marvel, all those sort of things. There was one way or the other I was finding joy. But I never thought people were bluffing. I just realized that my journey was very different.
Yeah.
And every time, do I wish I was in front of them? Yes, 100%. Every time. I go to JAMB, I'm like, I don't feel again. My life is doomed. I'm this, I'm that. But guess what? After 2 days, you're like, okay, you know what? Let's get back to the hustle. But the point is, you never really get to realize if people are bluffing or not, because I always believe that when everybody wakes up, they pray to what they believe is their creator in whatever form or the other. Nobody sits down to say, me, I'm here, I have it all figured. No, so everybody have their fears. They might show this big courage outside, no, but they have their fears, they have their things they're thinking about, they have their wishes, they have their dreams and goals. So I just believe, my eye on my own. The rest of you, enjoy yourself.
Okay, I have a question.
Tell me.
So from everything you've said, so after you finished your JAM, was there any pressure to really, rush and start something, or were you always grounded through your journey through university?
Okay.
Did you never felt any pressure to catch up to your mates?
Did you have photocopy inside your school when you were in school?
Photocopy?
You guys don't do photocopy in your school. Hey.
Not in school.
The biggest market in my own school was the photocopy section. What did I not look for to find a photocopy machine that I will put in that place and be making photocopy to be making money in school? I will sit like this and be thinking. So there was always a lot of pressure. I used to have a friend that tells me, if I have 300K in my account, I'm broke. This was when I was in 200 level.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the boy like this. I couldn't. My rent was not up to 300k. This guy is saying if he has 300k in his account, he was broke. I grew up when I was in school. I was later in my years. I think it was 400 level. Josh and Yayo. I don't know if you ever know those names. There were two names like that that were really big on showcasing some young boys and basically, I don't know where they made their money. If I don't know the source, but it was always like they drive into school. Remember Murano? Oh my God. We'll leave lecture, go and be watching the two other like that. Oh, more. You drive convoy Murano into school like this. I'm like, oh my God, these guys, they are making money. But the point is, you're never grounded as a young person. You see, all these things we're saying, we win it through young age. There is nobody that said, oh, I have it figured out when I was young. Forget that nonsense. It's completely bullshit. We didn't have anything figured out. We wake up every morning and we just wish, hey, I wish I had money to do this. I wish I had money to do this. Yeah, wishing. But the lucky ones, which fortunately for me I was we found that peace in the hustles we do. The biggest peace a young person can find is in finding something that they believe can turn into something. For me, it was art, it was writing, it was those things that were giving me fun. That, okay, I want to draw the character, I want to draw this. I was doing a book in the US, all those sort of leisure things that you do. That's the big, but that, we sat down, it became, if you watch my Zuckerberg story, coding for him was fun. I've just, for me, I feel the young people that really find that peace through that time are those that believe that thing that they call hobby. That's why you see footballers, they grow believing they could be something. Or even the footballer that never made anything, till he's 40, he's still thinking, same thing for musicians, same thing for actress, all those sort of, everybody is like, they feel like this thing I have in my hand can turn into something. So they focus all their energy on it. So they are not really distracted a lot.
Yeah. So would you say like some of like the societal pressure that like young people face is linked to sometimes our culture? Because taking it back to Nigeria now, when I was speaking earlier, I said I was lucky enough to go to school and study what I was passionate about. So every day when I was going to class, I had a reason to keep dreaming. But I have a lot of friends that when they'd ask me some study, they'll just be like, wow, and your mom and dad let you go and study that because it was something in the arts. A lot of my friends who are actually very creative people or passionate about like the arts or even like other things end up studying things that their parents want them to study, like white collar jobs, or either like, law, business, being a doctor or pharmacist or whatever. And then it's like immediately after school, like for my friends that do law, like immediately after university, they're going to law school, then they'll still write the bar exam and like they have like all these things that they're doing, but they're not doing what they love. So now like you look at someone that's studying law, you use like 6 or 7 years of your life just to complete school. Then bam, as soon as you finish, you're probably like 25, like 5 years to your 30s, and you still are trying to figure things out. Imagine like how much pressure that puts on you. If I'm already feeling this way at 22, I can't imagine like at 25 or 26, if you've just finished school, then to now try and figure out what's next. So would you now say a lot of this pressure comes from our culture and like maybe like even back to colonialism, making people feel like these white collar jobs are what we saw like the white people doing, which is what was taking them further, rather than like, our local basket maker or our farmer that was harvesting cocoa, like things like, things that are grounded in who we are as Africans, as Black people.
So let me ask you a question before I answer that.
Yeah.
If I give you a jar, 2 jars, and I say, every time you find a successful actor, put a penny in one jar. Every time you find a successful doctor, put a penny in the other jar. Which one would you find? Which one do you think will get full first?
Probably the doctors.
Exactly. In most cases, parents are basically just doing what they believe is best for their kids.
Yeah.
But here is now the flip side is that some parents understand that in doing what is best for your kid, you must leave room for them to do what they like to do. Some kids believe that whether you leave room for me or you don't, maybe you will not be seeing me every day. I'll be doing that thing. I was one of those kids. They don't like me drawing in my house. If I hear pang pang from the door like this, that's my dad's horn. the way I'm going to scatter my entire drawing board. It needs to disappear. Like, it needs to not appear at all. Like, I'm dead after that point. So, I'll be drawing whenever they are gone. Oh, yeah. Draw. But guess what? After that, would I still find time to read? Yes. Would I still find time to do anything? Yes. So, most people are doing what they believe is best, statistically best for their kids. Am I going to take a chance on another 1 million kids that want to play football? Or I'm going to take a chance on 2,000 hospitals being open in Nigeria that need doctors? You understand? It's like when you look at it, you start seeing that one is a no-brainer, one is like, well, with high risk come high reward. But that high risk is first before the reward.
Yeah.
So it's easy to look at it, I'm going to be like Cristiano Ronaldo one day, I can play better than him. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it might be the best thing to happen to your industries is whatever the greatest day was. But they still won't see you. But the idea is, while that pressure is, you know what, there's a people pressure on you to study what you don't like. A lot of times you need to find that, because what your parents want you to do is what I call minimum requirement. No parent gives you maximum requirement. If you come home and they say, have you read your book? Yes. Have you washed your plate? Yes. Have you, I'm talking as my own daughter is 6 years old, so don't worry. They won't ask you if you've read your book or washed your plate. Have you read your book? Yes. Have you washed your plate? And she's holding a phone watching, what's it called? Bluey. And you ask how the guy say, yes, what will you do? Say, drop the phone anyways. For what? Minimum requirement is what everybody gives you. And this is a principle that helped me throughout my career. If you are my boss and you gave me, we need this presentation done, that for me is a minimum requirement. I don't have any idea on what you tell me. I do exactly what you tell me. Once I am done, you will now see idea. Oh, where is what you asked me? This is what you asked me. Where is, what's all this one? This is not what I am thinking. So you cannot tell me this is not what I asked you to do. No, I've done what you asked me to do. So now it's your turn to listen to what I want to do. But a lot of people go ahead. Oh, they've told you to do X. I have this idea. No. The guy probably had the idea in the shower. He was showering, and he came out, yes, I have this great idea. Mo, come. I need you to do this idea for me now. You now say you have an idea on top of the idea. That what he's thinking is useless. And you say he doesn't listen to me. You should slap you on top of itself. But that's the point. So in many cases, what people want for you is their minimum requirement of you. If you turn out to be Cristiano Ronaldo tomorrow, they're not going to say no. You understand? They will tell you, I knew you had it in you. Yes, but guess what? That's why they were giving you the doctor option. Because they knew you had something in you. And you shouldn't let it waste. But the idea of, it's one thing that comes with parenting, that you start realizing that you have this person who you're responsible for. And you just can't fail. It's like the worst thing that could happen to you. Like you're gonna fail this guy? No. So guess what? Boom. You just want to keep doing everything possible. So it's minimum requirement. So instead of now, they need to now figure out, where is my excess capacity? What can I do with this excess time? You understand? Kevin Hart, if you read his story, he'll tell you, my mom filled me with so much stuff that I couldn't even have time for anything else because she didn't want me to be outside doing drugs or anything. But in the midst of that, he will try to finish early so that I can go for swimming. He will try to finish early so that I could go for this, that. But that's the point. They told me one time not to play game. Oh my God, that almost destroyed my young life. Let me tell you. So they will give me school fees. I'll go and sit in game center. 3 whole days, I won't go to school. I will burn the whole school fees in game center. So since you spend school fees in game center now, maybe you will go somewhere after that. And I'm going to be sitting there in game center. That's how one day this. I was playing game like this. I just look back. I saw my mom and my brother. I wanted to enter the floor. So after that, they gave me a restriction and said, You cannot go. You must get home 2:30. I close at 2. You would think I don't play game, right? This thing, I can tell you, I've never said it to my mom. Will never. Maybe if she leave, she would listen to me talking and she will know about it. I leave school at 5 minutes to 2. I'm by the gate. I am standing like this. Once they do, back closing bell. Boom, I'm the first person to the bus stop. 2:02, I'm in the bus. 2:10, I'm at the game center. I play game till 2:20 and I walk home for 10 minutes. I was playing game like every day. Everybody thought, I go up 2:30. Good. I was looking at him like, enjoy yourself. Oh. My point to you is minimum requirement is every requirement. Everybody that became anything did it with their excess capacities. Because I don't remember Michael Jordan's mom saying, I'll take you to basketball, but don't read. No, don't do this. No. I can tell you, nobody did that. They all just found out that, oh, wow, this boy is good at this one. Maybe we should now
Add it.
pay attention to it. But at the beginning, you load him. I'm sure he was probably swimming too. If you go and ask him, he will be swimming. You'll be in the band, self. If you go and ask, say, then they sing. Then they, oh yeah, sing, join. Then they read. You'll be reading everything. But a lot of times, you come to the reflection of the parents. It's just, this is what I did to get here. You want to pass the same thing. That's why you see people that were footballers that they grow up and they're like, oh, my kid needs to go and play football. Whether the kid is good or not. You understand? It doesn't matter. You play football. So that's the balance.
There's something my dad always tells us, like, since we all just have 2 siblings, so since we finished school, it's just like, now I can rest. Like, anything that happens, I've taken you guys through school. So I just feel at the end of the day, especially in a place like Africa, they just want to be safe. They know that, okay, even if anything happens, you can stand on your own.
I don't think it's only Africa, though. I think it's
Like
everywhere. I think it's, trust me, every parent everywhere. That sense of responsibility, you can't just get over it. You know, when I met the first time that I'm like, oh, I am a dad. I swear to you, it feels like, you know that Tarzan King Kong, Tarzan Gorilla, that is always, I felt like anybody that will come near this thing, come on, that's the way you feel. It's different. So a lot of times, that whole sense of, oh, when let them call your dad tomorrow and say, then you say Mo and keep quiet. Just give him 5 minutes, he will lose his mind. So responsibilities can be expressed in different ways. But it doesn't mean, but back to the main thing of pressure. It's like it needs to always come from a place of walking your own journey, understanding that everybody is capturing moment, not momentum, no matter what. They're not saying, I'm moving, no, I go here, I'm this, I'm that. You understand? And a lot of times, you must always know something. The journey from 22 to 70 is 48 years. It's a long journey. Take your time. Trust me, if I could tell anybody anything, enjoy the journey. Just relax, it will be fine. If I'm here, don't worry. You're only going to live in your own house, not in 20 people's house. You're only going to have your own spouse. You're only going to have your own kid. You're only going to have your own car. No matter what, you cannot have other people's stuff. So it's a long journey ahead. Do I feel like, because I made my first million at 35, guess what? I'm going to be this. Doesn't mean anything. It means zero. I see people, when you see people sometimes, we underestimate the failure behind. We underestimate that they are also human beings. When you see people fail, or some great people, so you see somebody like, they just sacked that coach from there. Oh yeah, thank God. Guess what? He has a son, he has a daughter, he has all those things. So that pressure would always come. But no matter what, just know that your journey is your journey. So all those, this one is doing that, is doing this. There will be somebody doing that even till you are this thing. Trust me, you will see 5-year-olds making billions very soon. They will be there. There's nothing you are going to do about it. God doesn't owe all of us explanations. He owes us our own journey. We walk it, we move on. How that person does his own. You understand? So yeah, just it's never an Africa thing. It's never a Nigeria, because Nigeria is hard. No. Parents in Nigeria are not the only ones worried. They are probably the least worried ones. Trust me, when you see people that have been worried about kids, there are some life that exist outside these walls that it makes you understand what true gratitude means. When you see people in some conditions that are still laughing and still feeling like they enjoy themselves every day, you just move on and say, okay, life is good. Let's move on. So appreciating those sort of life helps it, but appreciating that fact that, okay, you know what, me as a person, I'm just one element, and that's all. But one other thing that helped me a lot, really, it was this one. There's this statement in the Bible that says, if the birds of the earth can eat, how much more you? Trust me, that thing has been in my head like forever, since I've been like, I think 19. Because I'm like, okay, what's the worst that will happen? I will eat and I will sleep. Next day, wake up again. So if your mind is right, every other thing is secondary. You will fix it. You understand? So I think when you now extend that a bit, that fact of finding that peace in that hobby, that peace in that, or something you think you have that could turn into something, because what all of us have as young people, and you'll be surprised how many 50, 60-year-olds still believe they still have a chance to make it. And you'll be surprised how many of them will still make it.
Yeah.
Trust me, you think you are the only ones, young people are the only ones that dream. Wait till you come to, when you go into a room where you have, what's it called? White collar guys that are sitting in a room, they've been on the job for 30 years, and they still believe that there is an El Dorado somewhere that is coming.
I think also bringing it back to social media too, I feel like seeing how wealth can sometimes be displayed. You know how you made it saying how the Bible spoke about if God feeds the birds, like how much more you, and you're saying at the end of the day, you have a place to like eat and like lay your head and everything. I feel like I don't know, I don't want to say maybe our generation, because I do feel like maybe it has been definitely before us, but because of social media, I see people like we're not content with that anymore. Like going out, like having a place to, lay your head and like eat, yes, like we are grateful for that. But people want so much more out of life now. And people are hungry for an obscene amount of wealth, not just to be able to say like, okay, I have it, but because of the things that we've been exposed to now. Like, I don't think I'd ever wanted to go and visit, is it Greenland or Iceland that has the Northern Lights, until like a few years back, because now like I've seen through social media like what life looks like there, like how the skies actually light up. I don't think I ever wanted to go to the Bahamas until I saw how blue the water was there because of what I've seen on social media. So like being able to experience different things in life, which is literally what makes life, is like, and the experience, the different cultures, different people, makes people not comfortable with just earning that bare minimum, or just being comfortable enough to know that you're gonna have 3 square meals. You can even have snacks in between. You have a car that'll take you around. You have a roof over your head. People want so much more because now we are been exposed to the amount of life that can be lived when you have access. Because access gives you the ability to dream. Because when you have access, saying that I want to go to Italy to eat pizza in the morning and then maybe branch to Belgium to have chocolates for desserts and then come back to Nigeria for jollof rice at night. You see those things that sound insane. When you have access, you're able to say those things aloud and know that it's possible. That gives you a thrill. And that thrill puts serotonin in your body. That's what makes you want to live. You know, when you have the ability to dream big and not only dream, but have the access to make those dreams come true. I feel like that's why our generation, like, we're not comfortable enough now with just the bare minimum. Because I'll talk to an elderly man, I'll be like, you know, as long as I have clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, I've been working this job for 50 years, it gives me all I need and I'm comfortable. But is that the life you want to live? Do you want to go to work at 9, clock out at 5, but then know that you have enough money to eat these companies and be okay with that?
Do you think people will be saying that in 20 years from now?
I would hope so.
No, 50 years from now.
I would hope so, because then we would just be living to die if we're
No, I get you. I'm just saying, hold on. I don't think you get the irony of what I'm asking. You know, you're talking to an old man now. I'm assuming that old man is like 50, 60 years old. Good. And he's saying, have clothes on my back. I'm comfortable. I just want to live life. I just want to enjoy myself and go. Do you think 40 years from now, by that time you'll be what, 62? People will still be making that statement or not?
Personally, yes.
Okay. Do you think they will still be making it?
No, I would. Okay, no, that statement is like a classic statement. So probably yes.
Exactly. So where I'm going
Yeah.
is that you're just talking to someone who's been through a certain circle and has come to a landing. Their landing is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't believe human beings should not have dreams or goals or go for more and everything.
Yeah.
I'm never good. I don't think I'm one of those people that will sit down and say, okay, yes, I'm fine where I am. No, I'm not. My point is, every time that we move around, you see, oh, I want to go to the Bahamas. What happened to me? How I got to where I am? Is I went to those where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but you got the opportunity to experience.
No, I get. Hold on. You know, it's like all those things that you tell people when you want to do birthday party. They'll say, don't do birthday party. They wait on money. You say, no, I'll do it. When you now finish it, you now be advising the next person, don't do birthday party. Don't do birthday party. It's always like that.
I think, like, I understand what she's saying, and I don't completely agree, you know, with the mindset of, you know, you see it on Instagram, you want to do this, you want to do that. I feel like at the end of the day, people have to be content. You know, people don't like going through the journey. You know, now we're young, like 22, 24. Probably at 30, if we go, you know, one step at a time, build our life, we can do those kind of things. But people just want to jump from point A to point Z, which comes back to, okay, social media puts it in your mentality that, okay, you should do this, you don't do that, you know. But I feel like you said, 50 years from now, 60 years from now, especially, people there's so much you can do. Even as we're young, running around. There's a point you get tired of running around. You're like, okay, let me just sit down. Let me take a step back. Let me relax. Let me go and do that job. You know, let me go and do this.
Here is now the other thing. Let me now put some context into what you said. Let's say you want to go to Italy in the morning, go to Belgium in the afternoon, come back to Nigeria in the evening. I don't think you need an insane amount of wealth to do that. I think you need a lot of money to waste, but not an insane amount of wealth. I don't think there's a certain amount of luxury that stop appealing to you after a certain point. I think I can almost say that if I find a rich man that does this, what you just said, he has a meeting in Italy that basically needs to be done. It has to be with somebody in Belgium that it needs to be, and it needs to be an appointment in Nigeria. Most likely not fun for him. Most likely.
So then where do we now get to that point in life where it's like all the work that we're doing is amounting to something? Because I did see something on social media that says we're just living to die. Because you that's going back to my point of like not being able to like enjoy the certain ages that we're at, and then looking back and be like, wow, I can't believe I'm this age right now. I literally feel like I was 18 just yesterday.
Mhm.
Is because it's like, see, when you're young, you have things that you have to do. You have to
Mhm.
finish primary school, secondary school, university. You know what I'm saying? Then like when you now get to your 20s, okay, I have to work this job to be
Mhm.
able to marry this girl. Then when I have to marry this girl, I have to now build a house. Have kids. I have to put my kids through school. So it's like you will always have all these responsibilities. That's part of life because you go through like different seasons and you evolve. But then it's like, at what point are we living for ourselves? Like, don't get me wrong. I wasn't talking about wanting like all that wealth in your 20s to now, just like jump from like, it's definitely a gradual process. However, you see that statement she made about the wealthy man having to do things in those cities, but he probably not wanting to be there. Also now linking back to doing things that you love. Because if he was a creative just like you, and maybe he was going to Italy to look at some art, to go to Belgium to sell it to some people, to now come back to Nigeria to maybe like open a gallery. Like if he was doing things in sectors that he loved, you would find joy in the work. And you would also find, even as you're there for work, taking out that little time to be able to do something for yourself. Because I don't want to now look back at my life when I'm like 60 and be like, okay, I have clothes on my back and everything. I've done everything I'm supposed to and I'm comfortable. But I've wasted my life. You don't want to wake up one day and feel
Nah.
like you've done everything just to do everything.
Okay, so
So,
let me provide some context. So now, what you've described to me is a scenario of I've been through my life. I didn't leave my excess capacity to do those things that I really enjoy. You understand? And now I'm here, I'm like, why the heck didn't I do all that? What I'm saying is that the way life is designed, right, is that let's take somebody that enjoys making art. You understand? Let's just say for some reason we have a Picasso in Nigeria. He draws one day one. And it's so much fun. Amazing. He drew it in the comfort of his home. He was fulfilled, life was good. The guy came one day, paid him ₦1 million, and said, I want you to do another one for me. And he says, I'll pay you 5 million for that, but I need it in 10 days. You understand? 10 more people come and offer to pay me 5 million each, but they need it in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days. You understand? That guy stopped being a creative. He started becoming a machine. Yes, I'm telling you as someone that's been through the creative industry well. Now, from that point forward, he now needs to do deadlines. He needs to think in terms of, oh, money is coming in. Who's going to make account of it? He mutates into something else. What I'm saying to you, why I said it's most likely not fun for that guy, is that that's why I said the real amount of money you need to be able to, that is called what people actually call Forbes level wealth. It's not fun. It's not oh yeah, I'm just doing what I like, life is good. No, trust me. It is, unless you are like even footballers, for you to be a Messi, Ronaldo level, you need to be a machine. You need to be like your brain is not thinking anything else again. You are thinking ball trajectory every day. You are thinking, you lose somebody, you sleep, you are thinking about that. How did that guy beat me? How did I not score that goal? That's the level of detail required in being to some level of excellence. You don't get there by being, okay, yeah, I'm normal. But I don't believe it also means a lot of people will waste their life by not being that. I believe that everybody that has turned out to be extremely successful found out something at a point and doubled down. It's like, oh, wait, I'm Ronaldo. I can do 29 Lego at one. Let me keep practicing. Some people, they could do it. They don't care. I'm just going to keep playing. Don't forget there's also the hazards that or the dilemmas I don't care so much about. All this over investment in football. They just play for the fun of it. But the point is, would Ronaldo get to a point in his life and feel like, I wish I'd played more? I don't know. Would he get to a point in life and feel like, So what's all this for? You don't know. But same thing for Messi, same thing for everybody else. But the only thing I would say to anybody is that if you like to paint, you understand? Paint. Enjoy it. But when you paint with the mindset that this paint, I need to sell it and become a millionaire. Aha. Welcome to the machine world. AI, you are ChatGPT 5.9 now. Be drawing, they go. But the real people that express creative excellence never thought it was, they just did it for the fun of it. You understand? They just wanted to enjoy it. Along the line, the excellence now transform into a profession.
But that's almost like taking a chance though. Like you're taking
Everything
a
is chance
bargain.
now.
Yeah, so then what do you now do? So if you're saying that we shouldn't monetize our hobbies to not lose like the love for it, or like, to
No,
not
I'm not
make
saying
it
that. Monetize your hobbies. Don't get me wrong. You should monetize your hobbies. My point is, when you go towards monetization of something, you must be ready to understand that at that point, you are now dealing with a whole different world that does not respect how you feel when you are doing it. They don't care if you are when you are enjoying something, you take your time, you could see something, you could cancel it, you could see this, you could say, no, I like this instead. You could do all that. When you want to make money with something, you go into a system whereby wake up, do this. It needs to come out day X, it needs to come out day Y. There is no successful. Imagine Apple saying, we're taking our time, we enjoy this phone making. When we're looking at it, it's going to take us like, see Grand Theft Auto, that's a fun project. They've been doing it for the past X number of years. They don't care. The day we finish it, we'll release it for you. Go and play it. But when you are Call of Duty that needs to release a game every year, there is no hobby anymore. That's now work. So when you monetize something and you want to continue to monetize it, you don't monetize based on, oh yeah, it's now, let me enjoy myself. So you need to, the sort of constraint that you face when you're doing something for the love of it is the sort of constraint you face when you're doing something for I want to make money from it. It's the reason why when you go to work, let's say you enjoy filing, you file inside bank, you see file, you will run away because they will use it to kill you. So when you in a professional sense, when you were training for football, does anybody care how many sleep you have in the night? Is that wake up, go to that pitch, you run. If you cannot run, they bench you. You'll be having sore leg, like sore ankles. You'll be running. I can't tell coach. I want to play tomorrow because it's standard. So so when you talk of pressure, the question is, who is putting you under that pressure? Is he a professional? And on something you have as a hobby that you want to just enjoy doing, you understand? Versus, somebody that enjoys doing this thing is showing me what they're doing. Yeah, it's a lot of reality, a lot of nuance in these things that if you're not careful, you could just like, oh yeah, we've gotten there. But no, we all need to just look at everything and like, okay, you know what? I am 22. I enjoy doing X, Y, Z, but I want to make money from ABC. The ones I want to make money from, I need to go into a principled way of thinking about it. What are the requirements? What do I need to do? Then I understand that this is what they look for and this is what I need to do. I do it. The ones I enjoy, have fun. You understand?
So, for you growing up, obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty, especially with when you're chasing your dreams or when you're trying to do something. So, at what point do you know when to continue chasing that dream or actually stop chasing that dream? Because a lot of people get lost, chasing. They lose their, affects their mentals, and they just, for the remainder of their life, they're just lost. So at what point do you know, okay, without uncertainty, let me continue or let me stop?
Okay, so I don't think there was ever a time where, how do I put it now? I don't think that I was ever faced with that question. And a lot of people, I don't think they ever faced with that question. Oh, should I stop this? Should I not stop this? In most cases, when you're in the professional setting, you start to face that. So I've had multiple phases of dreams in my life. It started with I want to draw. At the time, I would draw comic, send to Marvel, rejection. Draw the cross generation, rejection. All those I'm like, okay. One day I found out I could write. You understand? Now I need you to follow the way my own dream mutated. You understand? I found out I could write. Then no, it wasn't writing first. I found out I could color. Now, so art back then is there's a penciler, which is the person that draws the main art. There's an inker, and then there's a colorist, there's a letterer, then the editor. So I was a penciler. I pencil, then one day I found out okay, I could ink stuff. I started inking. And then I studied so much of Tim Townsend, a guy called Tim Townsend. I studied him so much that I realized I didn't have enough time for penciling. Then one day I started lettering. And I was studying lettering so much, I didn't have time for penciling and inking. Then one day I figured out, I saw one ad that says editors wanted. And I went into the ad, I got a job. And they gave me loads of books to edit. And I was editing. I didn't have time for anything again. Eventually, I stumbled upon what they call finance. And I'm like, there's financial model. I want to learn how to do it. I learned that one so I forgot how to draw. But I always write for leisure. I have a typewriter in my house back then. I like the sound of typewriters, by the way. I just started listening, and so I was always enjoying writing. Do you know the only hobby I still have that I really am good at is that writing that I did for hobby? Because I never wanted to make money for it. But every other one is system learning. I will have 10 books of financial model. I will read every bloody page of it. And I'll be modeling. And I got so good at it. Then finance became, I didn't want to become a finance guy again. I want to become a CEO. A CEO job opened up. I found out I needed to do CEO job. I couldn't even open Excel for one day anymore. Then, you know what? I'm no longer a CEO, and I want to start going into owning stuff. Then I found myself doing that. I can't even have time to focus on doing CEO work. That's how dreams mutate. Dreams, nobody wakes up and just say, oh yeah, you think Shola has a dream that one day pay start. Let me put a pen. This pay start, is going to go like this. You should come and tell me. He started. So whatever you're doing, your dream will find its path. Just wake up, do what you like. But trust me, it's too early to think that, we insane amount of money next tomorrow. It is good. But I appreciate that fact that there are some people that basically got to do that for themselves, which is great. But I think it's good to get a context of how people got to where they are before deciding I want to do what they do. But a lot of times that context is usually a lot of systemic thinking from way back that basically now just got captured in one place and say how somebody had an idea to turn 5 naira into 200 billion. Great stuff, but it's still story. Did the guy ever sit down to cry? Did he ever sit down to give up? I could tell you yes. Walk into YouTube, walk into Google, filled with days of almost giving up. NVIDIA is the biggest company today. Have you ever read their history? Many times they face shutdown. Or maybe twice. They face shutdown. That they're like, you know what, we're going to go bankrupt if this thing doesn't happen now. It happens, life change.
But enough of that, why do you think we assume uncertainty means failure instead of growth?
Well, it depends on the context. You understand? So uncertainty could be because people are scared a lot of times. A lot of people are like, you're not, because not being able to put your hand on something, you understand, might be one big reason for saying, why am I not doing X, Y? So take, for example, if you go to an average, if you have an idea for a business now, and you go to somebody and you say, I want you to come and fund this business for me. Can you guess any 3 questions you will be asked?
What's the business?
Where do we get our
Where
money
do we
back?
get the money back?
Exactly.
Mm.
Who knew where anybody is going to get their money back when they started something? And yet, the person that didn't know where the people that gave him money were going to get his own money, their money back when they gave him the money, is asking you, where are you going to get your money back? A lot of times, assumptions, unless you're in a business of contracting, where if I sign a contract, sign a 10-year contract, I get my money based on this, most of all these ideas, you never know where you get your money back. You just know you have a gut. You go with it, it materializes.
So for a young person, chasing his dream or starting a business, for you now, when you started, doing everything you're doing, like what kept you going? Because obviously this that challenging, and especially for this generation as young people, like how will you best advise somebody that's dreaming big or trying to chase the extraordinary?
You know, let me put it this way. The first girl I ever said hi to my whole life, what I told her was, I have a dream so big that I'm going to become the richest man in the world. You understand? Like, that was how I was seeing myself at 17. Like, I remember that useless conversation. And because she was older than me, and it felt like she just looked at me and started laughing and like, yeah, tell me more. And she listened to me for almost 1 hour and only to tell me bye-bye. Like, lunch, I know me. But that aside, my point is, you never really, dreams are weird. They are really weird. Every morning, you wake up believing they matter the most. Most likely every day you understand that you start, it's like, because you don't know everything, right? The more you know, the more you tweak what you want. You understand? Okay. You could say, let's say a classic example for boys. What sort of what is it called? Girlfriend do you want to have? You will paint picture like crazy. You now go. You meet one girl one day. You're like, okay, this actually is a good feature to add. You add it. You understand? You keep removing the one that you don't like, until eventually you end up with a girl you cannot find. Then you now go and find the girl that is available. Every boy, all of us, we wake up thinking, Mona Lisa picture is what I want. You will now see, hey, yeah, I met this girl yesterday. Oh, she's like this. It starts from the comic book or the movies. Then it goes into boom, 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 boom. We run from that place. We run till we get to the person we are with. My point is that dreams, in the mind of a fresh person, without experience, without anything, will most likely look like a blue ocean. When you hit it, they won. So what kept me going is that I'm one of those people that I don't know how to not test anything. But the way we are here, if I have an idea that this cup can turn into a helicopter, I swear I'll tell us, let's go and test it tomorrow. Tomorrow you see it, I'll be testing a helicopter and like, oh, it cannot fly, Joe. Let's throw it away. Because I was just testing all sort of things. I started a studio. What have I not started? And I'm like, I don't think she's for me. Sorry. But the beauty of my own mind back then that I felt I really found the most fulfilling was that I don't hold on to anything so hard. If I see a superior argument in any case, I drop. I just like, if you and I get into a meeting today and you're like, and I'm like, no, we should do this. The moment you tell me something and it's like, it looks like it makes sense. Next time I'm like, okay, wait, explain it to me again. You're like, oh, okay. Then next you find me helping you shape that idea and you're like, let's move forward. That was the biggest blessing in my own life as a whole. So it helped me always be able to say, this thing will not work here. This thing, we're not ready for it yet. This thing will not do this. This thing will not. And I don't know how to say, oh, maybe it's not going to work. I don't want to accept it's not going to work. We'll go there immediately, test it. Okay, they work. Oh. Let's move on. We'll go there. It looks like there's something there. Oh. In fact, you just see me going until we get to the point like, nothing is there. Then we stop. That's always been my own way of going through.
Speaking about testing things, like, when was the first time like somebody properly asked you, okay, what do you want to do with your life? Because obviously everybody has like that like experimental phase. But sometimes when we get asked these questions by like aunties or uncles or like adults, like, okay, what do you actually want to do with your life? How did that question make you feel? Like,
I was never serious enough to be able to for people to even ask me that question. I was an unserious. I was playing game. My childhood is filled with fun.
Because then what time did you now feel like I actually have to start taking things
in the midst
seriously?
of that fun? Trust me, the drawing I was drawing every day became a hobby I wanted to do for Marvel Comics. Then I couldn't do it. The models I was building in my own bedroom became something somebody wanted to pay for. I remember there's a guy called Tunji. If he sees this, he'll be laughing. He was the first guy to pay me enough money to believe that there was any money in finance. He called me to his office. I usually charged 30,000 naira back then to build financial models, 30K. I sat in this. It was the first time I came to Ikoyi. And I went to, no, it wasn't the first time, maybe the second time. I went to Ikoyi and I went to do this amazing office. And I was like, hey. And they were like, okay, oh, this is a consultant. I was like, me consultant. Oh yeah, let's go now. So they went through the whole thing and I was sitting down. A guy that used to charge 30K. And the two founders of the business were sitting in front of me and they said, Amida, so how much are we going to pay you for this now? What are we going to do? And I said, well, maybe you guys should make me an offer. And the guy was like, we don't have a lot of money, so and so. But let's pay you 250K. But I've been taught that I shouldn't show anything on my face. But inside of me, I was sweating. I was like, 250,000. I said, okay, I'll think about it. I'll come back to you. I got on the Okada in front of their office, went away, and I'm like, 250,000. I sent him an email in the night. I'm like, no, I think we should go with the offer you made me, so let's move on. Then he responded and I say, okay, let's meet tomorrow to discuss the details. I was like, wait. And I'll call my friend and say, you need to carry me to Ikoyi tomorrow. I don't want to do that. I came in Okada. Me feeling like I've collected big money. Anyway, went there. The next day I was going home. My phone, I got the alert. It was the first 70% advance. And I was like, wow. What am I doing? I built that model in 2 days. I didn't sleep. Finished it, sent it back to him. He said, you finished? I said, yes. The next model I made, from that year, I think it was the year I made the most money in modeling. I now went to like, so this thing can make me money. Well, there is nobody I didn't kill model to. I was just running about with model as if I'm a hawker. Any small thing. One day I landed a deal that was selling Oando. And I was the guy they reached out to come and do the consultancy. The point is, I was never serious enough for people. People just think this one is a write-off. And I didn't care. My point, just find your fun. Trust me, life would fix itself. There is a 99% chance that what you find fun is enough for somebody to pay for. But don't spend the years you're supposed to be rooting yourself in the floor, looking for the fruits. You understand? dig yourself down, find the root. See, trust me, when you give me a financial model of 60,000 lines, I will give you what I think it is in the next 2 hours. Make it as complex as possible. I was that deeply rooted in it. You understand? When I see a good script, I've not written anything script in ages. But I ended up writing something that was part of an anthology that won awards in the US. But guess what? I didn't care. I was that deeply rooted in it. So just understand that the basis of any dream, a lot of times, should be surrounded by joy rather than, oh, they are making money in it, let me go there. Trust me, it becomes very frustrating. When you find the best musicians of the world, they are the careless people that are like, they just sing. You understand? Like, you see people saying, these guys, they not even the child. But when they now decide to double down, they become monsters at it. So I feel people should learn to root themselves in their in their field. Then now say, where is the distance? Because you know what I realized when I was coming out of school, the way we were graduating now, let me say one revelation that occurred to me. I was reading a book by R.G. Lipsey, Economics. And I was reading that book and something dawned on me that I said, if I finish school, am I going to be a consultant for the CBN? And it dawned on me that the CBN's RFQ will not say you just finished school versus you are a professor of economics. They will give the same RFQ they are going to give to me. RFQ means request for quotes, right? The RFQ they're going to give to me, to Lipsey, the guy that I'm reading his book. So for me to get that job, I need to be that good. I don't need to be thinking, oh, what is demand? How does demand and supply? No, I need to be like that good at it. So that's why for me, early stage of my life, it was about nothing was like, it was like, it needs to be like language to me. So when people see me, they're like, oh, I think you're naturally gifted. No, it's years of practice you never saw. So for me, I would say to anybody, great thing to be a child star is great. But rarely do you find child stars that become stars all through. Very rarely. You find the likes of the Morgan Freeman, Shawshank Redemption, boom, blew up. Been there since he's old. Jamie Vardy's, all those guys. Everybody's entry is different. But a lot of times, the tenor is not always very different. Some people can be rich from 12 to their 90. Some people will be rich from 12 to their 24, then they go off. Some people will be rich, not be poor, be rich, be poor, be rich before all their lives. Some people will be anything. But find you. For me, that's all that matters. I'm so unapologetic about who I am. You don't like me? GG's. You like me? Amazing. In all of it, do I like myself? Yes. I'm done. You have 10,000 things you should do. Do I feel pressure to like, oh yeah, I need to do this more? Yes, some days. So you look at things and you're just like, you know what? We should just have more money to do this thing sometimes. So yes, that's human. But the ground of you, that when you are in your lose moment, is it depression you're going towards, or you're going towards that fun that guides everything you do? So no matter what, all these things of, oh yeah, maybe if I do this step, I do this. The companies I've had the most success, I walked in there not even knowing anybody. I just walked in and I just sit in my desk doing my own thing. They bring something and say, okay, hey, this is what I think. Oh. One day they say somebody noticed my work. I go there, we start talking. That's all. So, karma. Got it?
Got it.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
Do you think for young people, do you think okay, let me think of how to phrase this. There's the realistic dream for
Mhm.
life, and then there's the unrealistic dream for life. But obviously, growing up, every young person, you dream the impossible and everything. So, at what point do you know, tell yourself? At what point do you tell yourself, okay, this realistic dream, how this unrealistic dream, how do I make it, you know,
Hmm.
sit back and then focus on the realistic dream?
Unrealistic dreams. There was a time I used to think that there will not be robots. They are there now. I wake up, I ask ChatGPT a question almost every day. A lot of times, you just never know whether your dream is realistic or not. Anything people tell you is realistic is most likely done before. But the things that make exceptional inventions are rarely realistic as that. You understand? So, my own view is always whatever it is you find yourself doing, just do it. Have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. Let the world worry about the result. You understand? Me, I feel like our world is so small. Our own personal world is so small. No matter how big you think you are, your world is so small that you'll be amazed that the people that will lose tears if you disappear from this world will not be up to 20. You'll be shocked. But guess what? We feel the world gets us. But that's not the way it works. We need to bring everything back and know in my own tiny circle that I draw for myself. You understand? I can try to expand it small. Let me be expanding it small by small, until I get to anywhere I can get to. But let it be because you understand the difference between that world of professionalism and the world of fun. Fun, crazy stuff. You do creative thing, do everything, put touches, say, oh no, I don't like it, lazy, let's start it again. Guess what? In this podcast, I can wake up and say, I bet we don't like that episode, let's shoot. Because nobody's giving me deadline. Go and collect CBS contract. Then you know that when you shoot like this, you research 300 hours before. You will come and they tell you, this is the way we want you to speak, your pitch must be here, this, go. Don't do it. That's the point. When you go to acting school, they tell you this is the way the speech goes, right? In a movie. Don't speak like that. Go and get moving. But guess what? If you are doing YouTube video that is your own, who cares about how you speak? You speak. Until you want to go and show it to somebody that is in the acting school and they say, no, your speech is not good. So when you're not looking to be defined by people, fun, crazy stuff, enjoy yourself. When you want to be defined by established standards, you lock into that. So if you want to be a professional, the requirements are there. Lock into that professionalism. If you want to be, enjoy myself. People, you call me today, I wake up. They don't call me tomorrow, I don't care. Enjoy yourself too. But don't pressure yourself into the point where you feel like the world will end if you don't make $1 million before noon tomorrow. It will not end. You'll be fine. Do you understand? You will be all right. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, it's been a good conversation, and I think I've enjoyed having these two here today. And I think really, Mo, thanks a lot, Isabel. Really appreciate it. So yeah, it's been not motivated, and yeah, see you guys later.